The first video of 2023 on the channel is here. I apologize for the lack of uploads, but now it's 2023. We are about 2 months away from footy season, so it's getting real now. Today, I'm going through every single new 2023 AFL jumper, and you might think there aren't many, but there are a lot. There are about 15 minor changes on jumpers that we'll whiz through at the end, but there's also about 15 major changes, including new jumpers or major changes on already existing jumpers. So let's get right into this. If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm really ambitious to try and grow the channel this year as big as it can possibly get. So it'd mean the absolute world if you could help that out. Start the year off strong by hitting that subscribe button. Let's get into this video. Port Adelaide have released their Clash jumper for 2023, and I've got to say, thank the Lord it is not grey anymore. This is a cracking Clash jumper. I cannot believe they've been wearing grey for so long and they keep getting away with it. They are back to white, which has always been their best Clash jumper, with the teal and black V. And then instead of their traditional white jumper that they used to have, they have now got a sort of diagonal stripy, I have no idea what sort of pattern it is, but it's a really nice pattern on that Port Adelaide jumper. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to watching Port Adelaide play away next year, because that is a cracking jumper that will look great on TV, on the field, and on the players. Let's move on to the Brisbane Clash jumper in 2023, and as we all know, for the past few years, they have had a white Clash jumper ever since about like 2016, 2017, I believe they've had a white Clash jumper, but they've decided to switch it back to more of a Brisbane Bears theme. They had this in the mid-2010s as their Clash jumper, something like this, but this is probably the best rendition of a Clash jumper that they have done in quite a long time. Obviously, their home and away have stayed the same, but with their Clash, which they don't actually wear that often per year, I hope they do wear it often this year, sorry, because it's a cracker, an absolute cracker. I mean, the maroon up top with the gold and the maroon line, it is just a perfect colour combination. It gives you those heavy Brisbane Bears vibes, and that's exactly what you want in a team trying to represent their history. As you can see, instead of New Balance's logo being there, who make the jumper, there is the McDonald's logo. We will talk about that later when we go through some minor changes on their home and away jumpers. There are quite a few teams whose apparel partners have actually sold that sponsorship space off to a different sponsorship, such as McDonald's, for more revenue. St Kilda have made a double change with their home and Clash jumpers this year. With it being their 150th year, they've decided to go all out with the jumpers, and let me tell you. Let's first go through their home jumper. Instead of just having their plain logo below their sponsor like they usually do, they've got a little rounded square behind their new 150th year crest. They've got a new sponsor, which is CIIC Markets. I have no idea what that is. If I had to make a guess, it'd be crypto, but I'm not sure. Now, New Balance have sold off the rights to Dare to have their logo on the jumper, where New Balance usually would be for the past few years. I'm not sure if they're going to be doing it in 2023, but we'll have to wait and see. As you can tell, the big difference with this jumper compared to other Saints jumpers is how thick the middle white line is. Usually it's been quite even in thirds, those three stripes, but it is thinner red and black stripes on the outside and a really, really thick white stripe in the middle. It's also got a white cuffs with a black line down the middle of the collar and cuffs. I think it looks better than their normal home jumper. I think it looks absolutely cracking. The Saints have done a really good job with not only their home, but their Clash, which they've also changed for this year. Not a massive change. In 2022, they did have the hot cross bun design. Next year, they've changed it up a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean, they pretty much changed half the jumper. Last year, they had the red hot cross bun jumper with the red back. This year, they'll have the red hot cross bun jumper with the black back. Like how they used to have in the early 2000s, I believe, with a red bottom. I think it looks fantastic. And St Kilda's attempt at redesigning their jumpers this year has paid off well and truly. I think they've done a cracking job. The Western Bulldogs have done something absolutely sick. They have actually got a vote for their retro round jumper next year. So it's not confirmed what that will be, but it is one of these next three options. It is the 1995 diamond jumper that they had, which personally is what I want in the vote to win, because it's the most unique jumper. It'd be great to see that worn in this day and age, even if it doesn't look the greatest. It's got that real retro feel to it with the Robo-Dog as well. Then you've got the 1975 Footscray jumper. I've worn something very similar before. I just feel like it'd be a little bit bland if they wore something like that again. Then they've also got the 1944 home jumper, which I would usually be opposed to because it is a little bit bland and like the retro jumpers I've worn before. But it's in a navy blue, which I didn't know they wore in 1944 in that era. So personally, I'd like to see the diamond jumper or the 1944 jumper win. I'll put all 3 options up on screen. Make sure you comment down below which jumper do you want to win and see the Dogs run out with in 2023 for a retro round game. Not only have the Bulldogs gone and going a retro jumper again for next year, they've got a new home and clash jumper. For their home, they basically completely butchered one of their best home jumpers in years of what they had in 2022, and they basically just gone and absolutely stuffed it up. From what was a perfectly fine red collar and cuff, they've still got the red cuffs, but they've just decided to add a massive white collar. I'm going to be brutally honest, it looks absolutely dreadful. I mean, I just don't know what they were thinking. It just looks, I don't actually think it has any historical representation either. If it does, there's no excuse, it looks shit. Now, they've also got a new clash jumper, which actually doesn't look as bad. I like the uniqueness of it, I guess, but still, I'd rather the jumpers from last year and what they've had the last few years. I really don't see the need to change these. As you can see on the clash, 2 much larger hoops. It goes down to the bottom of the jumper. The blue one's half cut off at the bottom with a very big blue collar as well and red cuffs. Asics have really stuffed this one up. Let's take a look at the Hawks clash jumper for 2023 because they've changed it up. They do a Legends jumper every year. I mean, what the Hawks have had a bloody few clash jumpers over the years. This one, I've got to say, it doesn't look like a clash jumper because it is dark, but it is absolutely cracking. They basically just inversed their Legends jumper from last year, and it looks really good. I actually think it looks better than the gold. Obviously, throughout their premiership years, this was one of my favourite away jumpers in the AFL, where they had just basically an inverse of their home jumper as an away jumper. They wore that against teams like Sydney. I thought it looked really good. I'm not sure why they got rid of it. This is a cracker. This looks really good from Hawthorn. Now, this is a leak. Essendon's Anzac jumper has been leaked for 2023, and in my opinion, there's not a massive change, but it is an entirely new jumper, technically. Last year, they did something really shit, really. Basically, for some reason, where the poppies were in the sash, they decided to cut off the poppy sash just for the sponsor to be shown. It looked really bad, and I fixed that this year by just putting a black box behind the Amart Furniture logo. I thought it looks really good. I think the cuffs actually look quite good as well. Yeah, I think it's a nice jumper. North Melbourne's clash jumper raised a few eyebrows when it was released in early 2022, and it only survived a year, which I think is a little bit harsh. I think it could have gone within another couple of years. I think it looked okay, but I'm happy they did just get rid of it after a year, because this one is just much better, and they just need to keep this clash jumper for 15 years. They've been rotating through too many jumpers recently, and this is just the best clash jumper they've had in a while. They had the Boundinger a few years ago. I think this is a better, more modern rendition of it. You could disagree with me. I think it looks really clean. They've got the white collar and cuff blending in with the primarily white jumper, but then you've got 3 stripes coming from the bottom with the bounding kangaroo. It looks absolutely superb. Essendon have released their clash jumper for 2023, and it is very different to some other clash jumper designs they've had over the years. Usually they just have a bland jumper, always with a red sash though. They never actually have the red jumper with a black sash. That is due to, in the Essendon Constitution, from over 100 years ago, they've always required that whether it's a home or an away jumper, it always must have a red sash on the jumper. So that is why they never have a black sash. They've changed it this year. They've got less of a thick shadow as they have had the previous few years. Instead, they've just got really a black outline on the red sash, and they've got a little bit of an abstract design in the background. I think it looks quite nice. I think it's a nice clash jumper. Essendon can't really change a lot with their clash jumpers each year, but I'm happy they haven't gone back to grey because I think that looks really good. Talking of grey and talking of more jumper leaks, Essendon's 2023 Indigenous jumper has also been leaked. They have gone with a grey design, which I don't think they may have ever gone with in a Dreamtime game, and they certainly haven't worn a grey jumper in quite a few years. I think this looks really good. I think Essendon have either kept it too plain or gone too over the top, or kept it too, a little bit basic whenever they've gone with the Dreamtime jumper. I finally think they've actually hit the nail on the head with this one. They've gone with a grey color, sort of a charcoal color, if you will, with the red sash turning into a bird with Indigenous art on the inside and some very subtle Indigenous art in the background. I think Essendon have finally hit the nail on the head, with their Indigenous jumper. Seems like everyone's doing a retro round these days because Hawthorn have decided to do one as well. They have done the same as the Western Bulldogs and let their fans vote on what retro jumper they want the club to wear in a retro round next year. So the Hawks fans have three choices of, first of all, the Golden Hawk design, which I think looks okay, but there's one option that I've really got my eye on that no matter how horrid it is, I think it will win the vote, and I think Hawthorn will wear it next year because it is just so outrageous. I think fans will vote for it. I've got this 1997 Hawthorn Ansett Cup jumper. It's okay, it's unique, but I've still got my eye on one thing, and that thing is the blue diamond jumper. The fact that the Hawthorn Football Club could and very well may wear this jumper in this day and age this year is absolutely monumental, and I really hope it wins the vote, and I personally think it will. I may have missed some new jumpers in this video. If I have, please let me know down below which ones I have missed. Make sure you hit the like button on the video if you did enjoy, and also subscribe if you don't want to miss a single upload. I've got another channel called UKFC where it's almost daily soccer content over there. I do live watch-alongs and videos, so it'd mean the absolute worth if you go hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers over there. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Cheers.